game people with the pick and roll. Brook, in the fourth quarter there, they had 5 offensive rebounds, and it seemed you guys were putting together good defensive possessions, and that was the thing that was letting you guys down. How big of a factor was that, and how hard is that is that a deflating feeling when they kept coming up with the bounce?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously we got to do a better job. It starts with me. And we just can't have that. Obviously it gives them new life, gives them momentum, and we definitely need to cut that out.
For either of you gentlemen, Andrew Wagner from Forbes Sports. This is kind of a position none of you have been in this year. You haven't lost 3 in a row, haven't had your backs against the wall. What's it like in that locker room after the game, and what's the mindset moving forward?
I think it's a similar mindset. We're just on to the next game. We're not thinking about winning 2 right now. Obviously, we just want to go out there and get game 6.
The three-point shooting's been obviously such an important part of your game all season. This series, you just haven't been able to hit the shots that you normally would. Are you guys still happy with the looks you're getting? Is the confidence still there to keep letting it fly? Only 31 attempts tonight is a low number for you guys.
The confidence is definitely still there. That's what Bud preaches every day. But you got to tip your hat to them. They've done a good job guarding the 3 through this series. We're, arguably the best 3-point shooting team in the league, and they've done a good job even limiting our attempts. So we got to figure out ways to get the ball moving and to, have open shots.
Malcolm, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Kawhi affected the game in so many ways tonight, and you had a pretty good view of a lot of it. Can you talk about, number one, his ability to, run the offense through him, his ability to distribute, and his effect to the game on the defensive end?
Yeah, he's one of the most versatile players we have in the league. He's a great player. You just got to make him uncomfortable. Tonight he was able to get to his spots and affect the game on both sides. So we got to be able to limit him if we're going to win the next game.
Howie Magner, Milwaukee Magazine. Malcolm, the first thing Bud said when he came in here was about how resilient this team is. Where do you find that extra level of resilience now?
If we don't have it now, our season's done. So we've been resilient all year, and we're going to rely on each other and lean on each other as we've done all year, and go out and compete as hard as we can.
For either of you two, Toronto obviously had 2 big wins on the road there during the regular season. Didn't go to plan this last week, but what do you take from those wins early in the season, and is that something you can, lean on going in there and feeling confident you can extend the series?
Yeah, it's a great environment to play in. Their fans bring a lot of energy. I definitely think our team will be up for it. We're ready for the challenge, so we just have to obviously go out there and take care of business.
Brook, just wondering on the one play with like 2 minutes left where Leonard launched a 3 and then he wound up getting the rebound under the basket and Giannis fouling him. How deflating was that given the situation?
Yeah, it was tough. They had multiple offensive rebounds, and he obviously made a big play, to chase down his own 3, get there all the way on the baseline and make a play. And we just have to be better in those situations. Thank you, guys.
We've been a resilient group all year. We just need to think about going and winning one game, go to Toronto and get that. Tonight, a little bit of a strange box score. Obviously, Van Fleet from the 3-point line and them in general from the 3-point line was huge impact on the game. They got to the free throw line more than us, and just we couldn't get we needed a couple of rebounds there down the stretch that, I think when we look at the film, we'll feel like if we could have, gotten a few more defensive rebounds from, the 5, 4, 3-minute mark on, maybe the end result would have been different. But, we'll get ready, we'll get prepared, go to Toronto.
Coach Bud, Greg Matzik, WTMJ. You mentioned rebounding. You out-rebounded them on the night, but it seemed like some of their threes were long rebounds, a couple that glanced off the rim, especially late. From your view, were those hustle plays made by the Raptors or stuff you can't really do much about given the way the ball was coming off the rim?
Some of both, but I think when Kawhi Leonard shoots a three from the three-point line and goes in and gets his own miss, that is a critical play that can't happen. The one with the shot clock violation or where it glanced off the rim. Gasol and Brook are battling, and if it just takes a little slightly different bounce, Chris is going to get that. And still a little uncertainty on exactly why they went to review and the order of things that occurred in that particular instance. But, that's a tough bounce. Others we got to get to. We got to get find a way. All five guys got to participate.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, just continuing with those offensive rebounds, just how deflating can those plays be when you guys are trying to battle back?
Very.
Eric named The Athletic, but I'm curious with it. It's quite a scene to see blood running down Giannis's face on a TV screen. Just what do you think of his whistle tonight and kind of the way he's officiated?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like he should be at the free throw line more. They have a couple of guys that are veterans. They're very crafty that seem to get there a lot. Lowry, when he drives, you got to be incredibly disciplined. He creates a lot of contact and is rewarded for it. Giannis, creates a lot of the same contact and doesn't seem to get the same whistle, get the same reward. But, I think the officials, they got a tough job. They do the best they can. We'd love for Giannis to get to the free throw line more, feel like he deserves it. But that's, we're talking about the rebounding, the three-point line, those types of things. Those are the things that we got to focus on and get better.
Kane Pittman with the pick and roll. You did touch on the three-point defense. They obviously shoot pretty well tonight, and the corner three has been something that you guys have defended well all season. What did you see tonight from the three-point defense?
Well, I saw Van Fleet just have a monster night. Sometimes, I think a couple of them felt really deep. A couple of them felt very contested. I'm sure he had a couple of good open looks too. So to get to 7 out of 9 from the three-point line is just killer. So Kawhi step back three, when it's 85 or 82, 81. That's a tough shot. Credit to him for making it. Credit to Van Fleet for making them. Whoever else, they sprinkled in a couple others that made them. But, Van Fleet really stands out at the three-point line. And then Kawhi making 5 is, if we can usually he's just making them off the dribble. So just got to be better.
By Mark Schwartz, ESPN. This was Kawhi's all-time high with 9 assists, all of those on three-pointers. What did you see his most dramatic impact in the game tonight, both on the offensive end and again on the defensive end, messing with Giannis's ability to dominate the game?
Well, I think he's playing with the pass in a way that's helping his teammates, and you don't get 9 assists unless your teammates step up and make the shots. So, I don't know how many of those went to Van Fleet. I know one coming out of the halftime or ATO, to Lowry. So he's doing a nice job of playing with his teammates and sharing the ball. And as far as defensively, he's a good defender. I don't know. I think it's their whole group that's been good and effective.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. With 1:12 left, Giannis went out. Did he just need a blow at that point? He'd taken a little bit of a beating up till right then.
No, he twisted his ankle in the backcourt. He tried to, I think kind of get a steal or surprise. I think it was Leonard with the ball, and I think his foot just stepped on, whether it was Leonard or Lowry, whoever's foot it was, and he just looked like he was in a lot of pain and maybe couldn't move. And we had an offensive possession, just maybe get somebody out there could move, make a shot, and I think kind of worn off or the adrenaline wore off, and he was able to go back in.
Coach Keith Jenkins from the Associated Press. You went with a different starting 5 tonight. Malcolm Brogdon got the start. What were you trying to do there with that strategy, and did you get what you were trying to get out of that?
Yeah, I thought Malcolm was very good overall, and I think it's a group that started 64, 65 games for us. So Malcolm has been the starter for the preponderance of the season, and so just felt like it was the time for that group to start again. And he did a lot of things well. Pleased with Malcolm.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Yeah, obviously that starting group did well and got off to good starts in the first and third quarters. But what did you think about the way that kind of changed your rotations and maybe how the bench handled tonight?
Yeah, the starters, a lot of positives there. We didn't get as much from our bench as we have at different times during the playoffs, and just Van Fleet alone. But Norman Powell hit some shots early. I thought when we got off to the good start, and so their bench has played well. Our bench, we need to get a little bit more out of them. But as far as the subs, again, it's Malcolm has started a ton of games this year, and so it was kind of like going back to a lot of the routine and a lot of the subs and patterns that we've had all year.
Bud, Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports. You guys are kind of in uncharted territory. You haven't had your back against the wall much this year. What are you seeing from your guys right now?
Yeah, I think, we talk about the character of the group and the toughness and competitiveness of the group. We're, it's first to four. We got to go to Toronto and get a game, and I think the group will be ready. They'll fill their cup up and be ready to go.
Eric named The Athletic, but I'm curious, you guys come out, switch a little bit more, seem to really disrupt them in the first quarter, and then that second quarter you scored 2 points in 6.5 minutes. Just how big of a swing was that in the game that you don't go into the half with a bigger lead?
Yeah, no, we had a dry spell there where, I think we had a 10-point, different times 12-point lead maybe in the first quarter, and second quarter we just couldn't get anything to go. We'll look at the film. Sometimes it's, offense that needs to be better and improved, or, we just, maybe missed some good looks. It's, something we'll review on film.
Bud, Nico obviously out of the starting lineup tonight, then only plays 9 minutes. He again couldn't get those shots to go. Where do you see him in the rotation, obviously for Game 6 and the rest of the series?
Yeah, we'll evaluate everything and see, how Nico fits when – he gives us great spacing, great shooting. If he can help us off the bench, then obviously we'll use him, and he can be very helpful to us. All right, thanks.
Unfamiliar territory for you guys. How will you try to respond from losing 3 games for the first time all year?
The same way we responded the first time we lost 1 game. I mean, for us, it's pretty good for it to be uncharted territory. I think a lot of NBA teams have lost 3 games in a row. It's unfortunate that it's come to the Eastern Conference Finals when we had a 2-0 lead, but at the end of the day, we have to be able to look at the film, and we have to dig deep, and we have to, kind of look at each other and see what we're made out of, because that's what it's going to take. We're on a little bit of a skid. They've been playing good, and so we have to make sure we look in the mirror and, try to make sure we have each other's backs, just like we have had all year.
What do you think has gone wrong in these past 3 games? I mean, it feels like you guys start going up the roller coaster, and then all of a sudden you just start tumbling.
I think there's been a few different things. At the end of the day, we pride ourselves on defense. And I think the way you end a defense possession is getting the rebound. Obviously, down the stretch there tonight, we weren't able to come up with a few. I think obviously that hurt us. But at the same time, I don't think, we've been shooting it as well as we have in the past. I don't think we've been, scoring it as well as we have in the past. So what can we do to get some easy baskets to open up the game a little bit? And we've done it in spurts. It's just a matter of sustaining it for the whole 48, because in playoff basketball, that's what it comes down to. We can get out, we can run, but at the end of the day, we have to be able to execute in the half court, because playoff basketball, the defense ramps up a little bit.
Why do you think it's been so hard in the half court for you guys throughout this series?
I hoped if I hadn't answered that, I would have given it to coach during this game. I think it's just been, they're a good defensive team. I mean, they got athletes, they got length, they got great defenders. So it's that much more important for us to move the ball a little bit and make sure that we move them around and, do some things that we've been doing all year. We just got to do it a little bit better, a little bit harder, a little bit faster. And make sure we sustain it. And anytime we can get a stop and run, that's going to help us. That's going to help get some cross matchups. That's going to help, open the floor a little bit for Giannis and Chris. And that's something that we'll look at from this game and try to make sure we make an adjustment going into next game.
How do you keep kind of a loose attitude despite knowing that your backs are against the wall and you're going on the road in this situation?
It's playoff basketball. And the tighter you get, usually the harder it becomes. So in order to win games and to come back from adversity, you have to make sure yeah, you take every, thing, every film session, every mistake seriously, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to look at it, learn from it, and then leave it in the past. Anytime you dwell on something, it's only going to, pop up at an inopportune time. So for us, it's about making sure we learn from it tonight, learn from it tomorrow. But come game time on Game 6, we have to make sure we drop it, and we have to make sure that we understand it's a new game. And we got to take it possession by possession, quarter by quarter, like we've been doing since the beginning of the year.
And while it is a must-win game, I mean, you won twice there during the regular season. You can win in Toronto. You've proven that.
Yeah, I think we can win anywhere. It's just a matter of making sure that we sustain that winning style of basketball that we've shown this year for 48 minutes, in a hostile environment. And I think that's going to, show a lot about our character, show a lot about our team, and show a lot about the chemistry that we've built throughout the year. How can we lean on one another and make sure at the end of the day we have each other's backs, because that's when we're at our best.
Did it feel different in here after the game?
No, every time we've lost, no one's been happy about it. No one's been talking and laughing and giggling. Like, for us, a loss, we take it very seriously. We want to win. Everyone in this locker room, 1 through 15, 1 through 16, is competitive. And they're competitive with everything, let alone when it comes to their job, their sport, the thing that they love to do most in this world. So for us, after these games, there isn't a whole lot of difference when it's a loss. Now, we've been fortunate this year. There hasn't been as many losses as some teams, but for us, it's about, making sure after tonight, after tomorrow, after we learn from it, after that quiet period's over, and, we have our time to learn, dwell, do whatever you do when you're a competitive guy and you lose, that we leave it here and we make sure that we have each other's backs and we get back to that type of game and that type of character that this team's been built on all season.
How's your ankle feeling?
Fine.
What play was it, Giannis? What happened on that play that you twisted away?
To be honest with you, I don't remember.
Giannis, this is uncharted territory for you guys, losing 3 straight. Does it feel different in here? How do you guys work your way back into the winning time, back against the wall?
Obviously, Game 6 is really important. We know as a team that we've lost three straight, and something new for us. But we gotta go in Toronto and we gotta get Game 6. We gotta fix anything we're doing wrong right now. Just try to play winning basketball, and we've created great habits all year long. So hopefully we can. It comes out in Game 6.
How do you go into this having to kind of put aside the pressure of a must-win game? How do you go into this and just treat it like it's another game, even though it is a must-win?
You cannot treat it as just another game. It's a must-win. Like, everybody knows it. And we're just gonna go in there and try to do as much as we can do. Leave everything on the court. Make shots, play hard, give energy, and hopefully we can get a win. It's not just another game. We got to go in there and win, come back.
What are you saying is the determining factor in those lulls where they are able to cut into their deficits?
Talk about Toronto?
Yeah.
Great team. They keep, moving the ball. They have a role mentality, next play mentality. And no matter what's going on, no matter if we go up 10, they're going to keep playing hard, keep moving the ball, keep looking for the open man, and it's been working. They've been knocking down shots, and they'll be cutting the lead back. So that's what great teams do, and Toronto is one of the great teams in this league.
Giannis, what needs to happen in the half-court set to get that to kind of match the effectiveness that you guys are on the transition?
I don't know, man. I'm not a coach.
Yeah, I had 5 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. Just how much do those kind of break your momentum and kind of really hurt you guys?
Obviously, from the first half, they had a lot of rebounds, offensive rebounds, and we came back here and we told one another we got to do a better job rebounding the ball, but we didn't. They had 5 offensive rebounds, especially when we cut. It was a tie game and they came and got that rebound. That was a big rebound for them. So hopefully Game 6 we can do a better job.
Is it a matter of matching their physicality?
No, it's just about wanting it more. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes on offense you just miss shots, right? Like you get the shots as well, you Giannis missing. Do you feel like you're getting those shots at the moment as a team, you personally?
Are we getting the shots that we want? Yeah, I think we're getting a lot of open shots. We get a lot of easy looks, so we just gotta knock them down. But it's not about that. It's about, we gotta, play hard. We gotta rebound the ball better. We gotta just bring more energy. I think we did a great, better job, bringing that energy and playing hard. But we gotta keep even more, for us to be able to win Game 6.
You had blood running down your face at a point tonight. You're on the ground throughout the night. Do you feel like you should have been in the free throw line at one of those?
I don't know, man. Even if I say I should be in the free throw line, the 48 minutes that we just played, it's past. It's in the past. So what I can do is just keep being aggressive, keep trying to make plays, keep driving in, and hopefully, I can get to the free throw line, or I can just, make a play. But the most important thing, I got to be aggressive. I got to finish through contact better.
Giannis, you're the type of guy throughout the entire season. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. But when you were sitting in your locker over there, did it feel different? Being in this
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel different. I'm just, I just want to win, And I think we had a chance to win the game today, but we didn't. Obviously, I'm pissed. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you just gotta keep your head up, keep believing in yourself, keep having that confidence, try to pick up your teammates and tell them like we can do this. We got 2 more games to go and we can do this. We've created great habit. We've been playing great basketball all year. We've been a good team. So as much as pissed or frustrated I am about this game, it's in the past now. I gotta keep believing in this team, keep believing in what we're working on, and pick up my teammates up. That's it.
Trying to talk about something positive. How great was it to have Malcolm back there in the starting 5? How did it feel to have him out?
Amazing, great player. Gives us a lot of options, offensively and defensively. It's great to have him back.
Yeah, it's in Game 5 of that Celtics series. You saw the Celtics kind of fold. You guys got to lead.
No, we're not gonna fold.
How do you know?
We're not gonna fold, man. Come on, man. We're best team in the league, man. We're not gonna fold. We're gonna go and give everything we got. We're not gonna go there and even they set a great tone and they come out and hit us in the mouth first. We can't fold. We're gonna come back to Milwaukee being pissed. Like, you cannot fold. You gotta go out there and give everything you got. If we lose, we lose. Okay, cool. But we're not gonna fold as a team, and that's not what we do.